Welcome everyone, I'm Apollo the Storyteller, and we are continuing Shadowrun Dragonfall. We just got back from the Az Technology facility, and Paul Unsel has something to tell us. As you step forward, the rest of your team falls silent. Umsel shifts his attention to you. You can see the worry on his face. Apollo, I have new information. I'm afraid that the news isn't good. So you said over the comm. Go on, we're listening. 2 years ago, a large shipment of a highly lethal radioactive bioweapon disappeared en route to a storage facility in Dresden. The weapon was designated X-15. I have traced the path of the missing shipment. It was delivered to the Harfield Manor. Well, that sounds horrible. It is. I've heard of this stuff before. Back in the service, we called it Doom. I've never run across it in the wild, but I've heard enough horror stories to know that I don't want to. The stories that you've heard are correct. This Doom is an extremely dangerous substance. He gestures to a technical document on his computer's display. I've been reading up. To this day, the story of Doom remains a cautionary tale in biotech circles. Monoclonal antibody technology is strictly regulated now, and this substance is one of the reasons why. What does this stuff do exactly? Amsel clears his throat and reads aloud from the information on his screen. Doom kills by destroying a host's muscle tissue via radioactive decay. Each individual Doom antibody is bound to a radioactive bismuth-212 isotope. When introduced into a host, these antibodies bind to surface-level muscle tissue. The tissue is then killed with alpha radiation. This process repeats itself until the host wastes away and dies. Jesus. Iger nods grimly. I've heard that Doom was deployed in a couple of border skirmishes back in 41. After seeing what it did to people up close, the UCAS passed a unilateral ban on this stuff. If that doesn't tell you how bad it is, nothing will. Okay, so I hesitate to ask, but what would a dragon want with this Drek? Nothing good. That much goes without saying. This development worries me, Apollo. It worries me greatly. So the dragon has a bioweapon. Alright, good to know. But that doesn't change what we need to do. I'm with Apollo on this one. This is interesting. Scary, even. But it doesn't actually change anything. I mean, it ups the stakes if the Firewing's allowed to carry out her plans, whatever those might be. But we're gonna stop her before that happens. That was always the plan. Far as I'm concerned, it's still the plan now. I agree with Dietrich. We need to focus on what's in front of us. Whatever the dragon's larger plans might be, the fact is that she is after us. We shouldn't let ourselves get distracted by anything else. Amsel is slow to respond. Finally, he nods. Yes, I concur. For the time being, we must continue forward. And that means that you must continue working toward raising Alice's feet. I'll leave the matter in your capable hands, Apollo. When you've acquired the necessary funds and are ready to head back out to the rabbit hole, let me know. From there, we will discuss our next steps. Iger nods. Good. If you need me, I'll be getting prepped for the next run. Right behind you, love. Dietrich casts a backward glance at Glory. If any of this has had an impact on her, she doesn't show it. Come on, Glory, let's go. Alright. Alright, I already have the money for Alice. I think I just have to go to this computer and send it. Transfer 50,000 to Alice's secured cred stick for payment. Done. Account admin override password required. Current admin user, Paul Amsel. Apollo, please speak with me when you are ready to proceed with Alice's payment. Amsel. Alright, gotta talk to Amsel. He's the boss in this particular matter. Apollo, greetings. Amsel appears at you through a battered old pair of wire-rimmed glasses. There's something gentle about the man, with his silver hair and his tweed jacket. He looks more like an aging art history professor than he does like a criminal go-between. Is there something I can do for you? I need your password to transfer Alice's payment onto a cred stick. Amsel sucks in a deep breath. He suddenly looks as though an enormous weight has been lifted from his shoulders. Yes, very good. Excellent, in fact. This has been a long time coming, Apollo. You're telling me. Amsel turns to open a file on his computer. All right, Apollo. Before you make this transfer, there are a few things that you should know. Firstly, this is a one-way operation. Once the funds have been transferred to the cred stick, the only person who will be able to access them is Alice. As far as the team is concerned, the money will simply disappear. Well, it's not like we were planning on doing anything else with it anyway. Keep going. Secondly, once you make your way to the rabbit hole with the funds, it's go time. I trust you. I trust that you understand what I mean by that. Go ahead and clarify it for me. What I mean is that retrieving Alice's information will be your only priority. No more distractions, and no more side work. I will busy myself canceling your remaining jobs and smoothing any ruffled feathers. Makes sense? Anything else? Just that you need to be sure before committing to this. Time is important. A great dragon wants us dead, and that is not a thing to take lightly. But you shouldn't return to the rabbit hole until you are prepared to act. If you have any doubts, then I'd urge you to wait. I understand. I'm ready to proceed. The password is Folklingen. Once you are en route to the rabbit hole with the funds for Alice's payment, I will cancel the team's remaining obligations. Understood. I have to say, Apollo, this lifts an enormous weight off my shoulders. When Monica brought you on board, I was initially unsure about you. I would never have said that to anyone else, of course, but I kept you under a watchful eye. I can see now that I needn't have doubted her judgment. She chose her successor well. Now please, go fetch the information from Alice. We're one step closer to surviving this mess. Alright, first of all, I'm gonna spend all my karma points. I'm gonna up my shotgun. That should be enough in that regard. Let's see what I can do with decking and such. Increase your chance of hitting enemies by 20%. Okay. Alright. I'll just confirm that. Next, I'm going to save it right here, and I'm going to... It's going to be a fourth save file. And I'm gonna try to pay attention enough not to save over it. Alright, let's transfer that information, or that cred stick. Check the status of the Alice Fund. Transfer the 50,000. Volklingen. The funds disappear from your account. Moments later, a message pops on the screen. Transfer complete. Sitting in its dock on the keyboard, a green LED blooms to life on Alice's cred stick. The trigger has been pulled. The rabbit hole awaits. Alright. Feel like we're reaching a important moment. Of course we are. We're going to try to figure out where Falclair is so that we can get at the fire wing. Travel to the rabbit hole at the Altstadt-Spandau U-Bahn station to retrieve Alice's data. Down the rabbit hole. The tiny cred stick feels heavy in your pocket, fat with the weight of hard-won new yen. The U-Bahn station swallows you up and sends you hurtling down the rabbit hole towards Alice, towards the information you've bled for. The train pulls to a stop, and the doors hiss open to the dark, old platform. With luck, answers lie ahead. Alright, let's go over to this here arcade machine. Alice's console stands alone against the filthy wall of the U-Bahn platform. The colorful sprites that flicker across the screen stand in sharp contrast to the surrounding grime. Insert Alice's payment into the machine. The cred stick port in the machine greedily accepts your payment. You watch as the black plastic of the cred stick's case disappears into the console. Moments later, the familiar sight of Alice's office winks onto the screen. Something is wrong here. You can see it in Alice's face. Her eyes are open just a little too wide. Her smile just a little too forced. It's a look that you've seen before, all too often. Underneath her polished exterior, Alice, the Alice, is terrified. Alice? What's going... Hold a moment. I'm transferring your payment now. Alice's attention is fixed on the PDA mounted to her wrist. A moment passes, then she nods, lowers her arm, and shifts her gaze to you. Her smile looks forced, and her eyes keep darting back to the clock on the wall. Everything seems to be in order. Good. Tell me what's going on, Alice, now. Without a word, she bends to grab something from under her desk. A moment later, she lifts an aluminum briefcase onto the desk. Your information. She flips the case onto the desk, then shoves it toward the camera. As the briefcase grows larger on the screen, you can hear the whine of motors spinning up in the arcade cabinet's guts. With a smooth, mechanical motion, a generic brand optical chip slides out of the payment port in front of you. Alice kicks her seat back and stands. Her movements are becoming more and more erratic. Your answers are on the chip. She checks the clock again. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to run. What are you running from, Alice? She pauses, then takes a breath and exhales it slowly, tries to calm herself, but the panic wins out and she begins to tremble. You'll find out. And Apollo, a free piece of advice. You should drop your search for Falclair. Drop it now and run far, far away. If you don't, you're gonna get yourself killed. She leans in to stare into the camera. On the screen, you can see that her eyes are badly bloodshot. And stay out of the Matrix, Apollo. It isn't safe. Abruptly, the screen goes black. Alice is gone. The optical chip sits in its cradle, waiting for you to take it. Take the chip. The instant that the chip leaves its cradle, the machine reboots itself. You are again alone. 4 karma gain. Let's go ahead and spend those points too. I may need every spare point I can get. Let's up my quickness. Okay. Oh boy, oh boy. As you settle in for your trip back to the Kleist Bazaar, you can feel rest of the world compartmentalize and fall away. No more distractions, just you, the train, and the optical chip. It sits in your pocket, like a hot stone impossible to ignore. The train ramps up to speed, filling the air with a monotonous electric whir. The sound is soft and low and urgent, like the droning wings of an enormous insect. It'd be soothing if your mind weren't occupied with other matters. All at once, the monotony is broken. Your PDA is buzzing. A quick glance at the screen tells you that you're receiving a call, and that Paul Amsel is on the other end. Answer the call. You hit the receive button on your PDA. One look at the grainy image that blossoms to life on the screen is enough to tell you that something has gone terribly wrong. The strangled sounds of panicked breathing punch through your PDA's tiny speakers. In the image window, you could see the outlines of figures silhouetted against the backdrop of Amsel's shop. The view rotates, bringing them toward the center of the frame. The image sharpens. In the center of the screen stands an enormous orc in battle armor. A hand cannon leveled at something just out of frame. His face is a shiny mat of grafted tissue, his smile like something out of a nightmare. Say nothing. You watch powerless as the orc's grin widens. The frantic breaths you hear coming from off-screen inside increase in frequency. From off-screen you hear Amsel's frantic voice. Audran, please! Tell me what this is all about. What are the Firewing's plans? You're going to kill me anyway. Don't send me to the grave without... Your stomach drops as the gun bucks and the roars in the orc's hand. Your view on the PDA pitches wildly, then comes to a sudden stop with a violent cracking sound. A burst of static floods the screen. Moments later, a dark shape falls into view with equivalent force. You hear the unmistakable sound of bone crunching against hard wood. The camera auto-adjusts, and the dark shape swims into focus. You are staring into and through the dripping cavernous ruin of what was once a human head. The remnants of the face that remain are enough to confirm that what your gut already knows. The body on the screen is that of Paul Amsel. From out of frame, far away, you can hear another voice. A woman, young, from the sound of it, with a military cadence. What now, sir? Now we press our advantage. Jam their comms, Ortega. The sounds of hurried motion recede into the background. All right, remember, people, Amsel was the brains of the operation, but the rest will put up a lot more fight. Flush them out and take them down, one by one. Another voice chimes in, a young man this time. Sir, look at Amsel's wrist, the PDA. I think that's recording. God fucking damn it! You hear the roar of another gunshot. The screen goes dark. Your vision swims and the screen of your PDA seems to fade away. The impact of what you've just witnessed hammers you in the gut over and over again. Amsel is dead. The Kleist Bazaar is under attack, and it's entirely possible that an ambush party is already waiting to meet you at the U-Bahn platform. Whatever your attackers have planned, you won't be able to do much about it from here. The train is speeding towards the Coit's Bazaar station. No more stops between you and the enemy. Nothing to do but prepare yourself and wait. Great. Looks like Iger's holding them off. The barrel of Iger's rifle swings upward. She emerges from cover, turning to face you. About time you showed up. The light plays off of Iger's face like a street light on rain-slick asphalt. Her face, neck, and chest are sheeted in slick, dark liquid. Blood. A lot of blood. Where are you hit? I'm not. This little bastard, on the other hand. Iger wipes her mouth with the back of her hand, then hoists a corpse up from behind her makeshift barricade. A young man, maybe in his early 20s, his eyes frozen wide in surprise. What's left of his throat hangs down in ragged flaps. Made one hell of a mistake. Good God. God gave me tusks for a reason. I don't think he'll mind that I use them. Did you meet with Alice? Do you have our information? Yeah, I got it. An optical chip. We'll have to use my mission computer to open it. Whatever's on that chip, these bastards don't want us to read it. All the more reason to do exactly that. After we put the rest of them in the ground, after we put the rest of them in the ground, that is. Iger, they killed Paul. I saw it. Iger's expression hardens. Yeah, I know. He had us all patched in on that call. We all saw what happened. I figured they'd try to ambush you at the platform, ventilate the train, take you out, and cut off a potential escape route in the process. She shrugs. It's what I would do. So I hightailed it here and set up an ambush of my own. Good thinking. Iger nods. Thanks. Anyway, that's enough talk. We've got a job to do. Iger swings her rifle up and over her shoulder. There are an unknown number of hostiles topside. They're well equipped, decently trained, and hell-bent on killing us. The last I heard, Glory was on the north end of town. Dietrich was out getting coffee when all hell broke loose. Let's go get them. Our friends need help. Let's go give it to them. +1 action point. Your experience has increased your ability to operate in dangerous situations. Nice. Okay. I'm going to save it real quick. Alright, use this save file. Oh boy, oh boy. Hired mage. Mercenaries. Hold on, let's see if Iger can take that mage out. Bam! Yes! Mage gone. What's with this dog, though? It doesn't show up as, like, a target. Is it just a wild dog? What? Or it looks like some kind of, like, hellhound or something. I don't know why it's there. Anyway. Mark that target. Then I'm going to run back. Okay. That must be Dietrich's. I'm betting that's probably... that dog probably belongs to him. Motherfucker. Very good. Ouch! What a pain in the ass. Bitch. Oh, wow. Alright. Something ahead of you lets out a low, rumbling growl. From the shadows, a primordial sound that echoes down the snowy streets. It steps into the light. Dante. Even from this distance, you can feel the heat radiating from the enormous dog's body. He locks eyes with you, and you can see the fire burning within them. He takes a step toward you, hackles raised. Iger glances at you, her voice is calm, but you can see the unease on her face. I forgot to mention, fearless leader, your dog's acting funny. I can see that. Happened fast, too. Just before you got here. I caught sight of him on the way down to the U-Bahn platform, and he looked normal enough. Then one of these bastards took a shot at him, and he winged him. Big mistake. Dante got mad, real mad. He started shaking and twitching, and I saw fire in his eyes. He was on the guy before I could blink. A few seconds later, the shooter was a red smear on the sidewalk, and Dante... Iger stabs a thumb in the dog's direction. Looked like this. Want some jerky? Dante growls low and begins to drool. Droplets hiss as they hit the frozen pavement. He lowers his head and the hackles on the back of his neck stand stiff. I don't think this is working, Apollo. It'll work. Easy, buddy. Easy now. Slowly, the wind begins to shift, and he sniffs the air, looking from you to Iger, then back to you. Acknowledgement washes across his face, and his expression softens. His ears stand back up, and you could swear that you see him smile. Dante takes his place by your side. Well, whatever he is, I'm glad he's on our team. Let's find the others. Okay, so apparently Dante's a hellhound. Achievement! Dante's Inferno. Okay. Alright, so let's see. Dietrich was getting coffee, so he's gonna be down here. Right? Yep, I was right. Well, let's see what Dietrich can do. We need to get shurikens. Let's see if she can snipe anybody out. Oh, yeah. Let's go after the mage again. Don't want the mage to do any damage to the party. Gotcha, motherfucker. Alright. Dante's turn. Rip him to shreds, boy. That's a good boy. Tear his nuts out. Ouch. Hold on. Come on, asshole. Got it. Yes. Now I'll give it to my familiar. Let's see here. Trouble spirit directed at one target takes ongoing minus 10 HP damage for 4 rounds. Got him. Holy shit. Got him. Alright, can she even hit anything from there? Yes, she can. But she needs a round to reload. Alright. You, sir, need to die. Okay, let's see what he can do. Fireball, Petrify, Flame Breath. Alright, first of all, on fire. Got it. You son of a bitch. Let's see. Iger, can you hit him? Yes. Ah, yes, got him. is somewhere up here. Here we go. Let's see. I'm gonna run over here for cover. Dick. Oh, what are you? You're big. A conjurer. Conjurer needs to go down. Yeah, Deadeye shot. Overwatch, huh? Pew pew! Pew! Zap it! Welcome, Ganonart. Ah! There we go. Sick the puppy on him. Why is he so hard to hit from this close? I don't get that. Damn. Yes. So far the game's going pretty well. I've hit a turning point. My hideout was attacked, and Paul Amsel is dead, and I'm trying to regroup the party. I'll just eviscerate this guy. Dante, no, I don't want to do that. Not yet. Let's rip his armor off. Make it easier to hurt. Lightning bolt. Bzz. Awesome. Who's left? Oh, there's still the guy up there. Okey doke. Glory flicks her wrist, sending the wicked blades that extend from her fingertips sliding back into their housings. Apollo, listen to me. We have a problem. I saw a detachment of mercenaries breaking away from the main group. They were carrying heavy ordnance, and they appeared to be heading in the direction of the sewers. Best guess, they're planning on bringing the entire block down, reducing the Kreuzbazaar to rubble. Where the hell is Blitz? He took off with Malit. said something about jamming the attackers' comms. Don't worry about them. We have to deal with those bombs. We have to deal with those bombs. Yay! Gotta defuse bombs. Gonna play Bomb Squad. Beneath the Kleitz Bazaar. You and your team descend into the sewers, footsteps echoing off of the damp stone walls. You barely notice the smell. There's no time to waste. Aldron's team of mercenaries is down here somewhere, racing to plant their explosive charges beneath the Keats. The fate of the Kleitz Bazaar is in your hands. Lovely. 11 rounds until the bombs explode. I have to find 3. God damn it. Well, it looks like they're marked on the map, so that's not bad. I think what I'll do is I'll make a big circle. God, hopefully I've got enough time. Save to another spot. I'm going to try to go as far as I can every time. Let's do this quickly as we can. I wonder if Blitz is in on it. Maybe I shouldn't have taken him in. Alright, 10 rounds to go. Oh, here we go. Let's see, Vanguard, Mercenary. I shouldn't shoot the bomb, I don't think. That might be bad. Let's go for the Vanguard. Bam. Missed. Great. Switch over to the shotgun. And miss again. Great. Let's see if we can tear off some armor here. No? Okay. Eviscerate him. Really? Okay. Was that not... Whatever. God damn it. Here we go. And let's see if we can get the puppy to tear off some of his armor. Missed. Because I think Blitz is in on it because he's the only one missing. They said that he went with Malik, but there's got to be a reason that these guys found me. I mean, they're professionals, so it's very possible that they found me on their own, but I don't know. I feel like they had help. Dragon's Breath round ignites. Alright, this is gonna be a bit of a spray and pray shot. That didn't work. Anybody who's wounded? Yeah. Once again. Gotcha, motherfucker. And he's just gonna run back and forth for some reason. I'm gonna go straight for defusing this bomb. Diffused, yay! In that case, I'm just gonna run for it. I'm gonna keep moving. I'm gonna kneecap him. Damn. Oh, shit, I didn't mean to hit the dog. Got it. Okay, cool. Where's the other bomb? Alrighty, how am I gonna get over there? Is there a way across? Ah, there. Reload. Shoot him while he's unconscious. Okay. 6 rounds. I'm just gonna run for it. I'm gonna have Iger follow Apollo. And then have Dante run with Glory, and we're gonna just split this job in half. Hopefully this works. Ouch! You asshole! Yes, please. Wait, oh, I thought I had Iger with me. I keep hearing something. I don't know if it's in here or if it's outside. I keep hearing a yipping sound or something. I don't know. Heal wounds. God damn it. I'll have Dante come help. I'll have him take this guy's attention. Get out of my face. I don't know, maybe splitting up wasn't a good decision. Oh, great. Conjurer, hired mage, vanguard, and a mercenary. Got it. I like that Dante takes the AP, takes their AP down. Something tells me I'm gonna have to restart this part. Alright. I don't have any healing items left either. I should have fucking stocked up. I don't know what I was thinking. Go for the Conjurer. Bitch. I got 3 rounds to get these bombs defused. This is not looking good. Fuck. Kill the Conjurer. God damn it. Thank you. Okay. let's... Decisions. One more bomb to defuse. Hopefully I can get it before time runs out. I think I can, though. Thank you. Oh my god. Okay. Things are turning around. Head back up. Gonna have to join the others. Reload the weapon. And then take pot shots, keep their attention. And then glory, move up. Diffused! Alright, that problem's over. Just gotta take out the trash. Fantastic. Coward. Fucking coward. Why don't you face her up close? Why'd it take 3 steps for her to go that far? Fuck this guy up. Shink. Wow. Her blades are really powerful. Whack. Oh, yes. Okay, I don't see any other dudes. What's left to do here? I don't see any reason to summon a spirit either. Is there something in the room over here? I don't get it. Is one of them hiding? I don't see anyone hiding. Ah! He is hiding! What a fucking pussy! Bam. Nice. Let's head to the safe house. Take care of Paul. Paul's dead. Orc is gonna pay for this. Alright. Head back up. The Coit's Bazaar. You emerge from the foulness of the sewers only to be met with the equally dark stench of cordite and death. Although you've saved the Keats, it is far from unharmed. Residents wander the streets dazed, holding their wounds, tending to others, observing the damage. The look in their eyes tells the story. Their illusion of safety has been shattered. God damn, fucking mowers. You enter Paul Amsel's trade emporium already knowing what you'll find there. The knowledge doesn't make the discovery any easier. Once again, the team gathers around Paul Amsel, but tonight he has no more missions to offer and no advice to give. His body lies motionless on the hard wood, cooling in the night air. The ruin of his face has been hidden under a burlap tarp. For several minutes, nobody speaks. Finally, Dietrich steps forward. I think we should say something about Paul. There's another moment of silence. Then Iger speaks up. I'll go. Iger brings herself to attention, stares straight ahead. Paul Amsel was an important member of this team, and he supported us well. He said what he was going to do, and he did it. That's rare. That's worthy of respect. She looks down at the body. There's a long pause before she speaks again. Thank you, Paul Amsel, for everything. Another pause. Her voice softens. I was out of position when they came for you. I couldn't save you. I'm sorry. The others shift uncomfortably, not knowing what to say. Glory breaks the awkward moment, her voice a frosty monotone. I appreciate what Amsel did for us. It's another loss, one that this team can't afford. Glory's eyes sweep across the group, then land on Amsel's body. Her expression is implausible to read. After a moment, she turns her head to look at you. Losing people is hard, no denying it. Paul was a good one, and will be missed. Dietrich nods in agreement and crosses himself. Ja, he was. Goodbye, Paul. Gott sei mit dir. Gingerly Blitz steps forward. His hair is mussed, and there's a fresh bullet hole in his jacket. He smells like smoke and blood and stale sweat, and his hands tremble as he takes them out of his pocket. Well, I don't know Paul as well as the rest of you, but he seemed like a good guy. He shuffles his feet. I didn't want to see this happen at any rate. You okay, Blitz? Looked like you and Malit saw some action back there. Yeah, his eyes remained fixed on Amsel's body. I'll live. As if in turn, Dante lowers his head sadly, lets out a heavy sigh, and closes his eyes. We'll miss you, Paul. Don't worry about the body. I know what to do. Be respectful, but be quick. After all, it's only a shell. Paul is with Monica now. We're all gonna be with Monica soon if we don't do something. The Firewing came after us once. She'll do it again. That dragon really wants us dead. No shit. Whatever she's planning. It's clear that Feuerschwinge will allow no disruptions from us, or from anyone. Come on, everyone. Let's get a look at that optical chip. I want to see what we're dealing with. Puppy's back to normal. He's no longer a hellhound. Looks like they took the... I guess they smashed up the display there. Mission computer. The cold blue tones of the workstation's main menu fill the screen. A blinking message in the upper right corner notifies that you have 6 unread messages. Let's see about that chip first. You slot the optical chip into the computer's waiting chip jack. On the screen, Alice's office blossoms into view. A half-second later, a real-time simulation of Alice appears, seated behind her mahogany desk. Something about it reminds you of a figure from a wax museum, lifelike, but dead inside. It greets you with a facsimile of Alice's joyless smile. Customer name Apollo. Its voice is hollow, synthetic, an automaton masquerading as a living woman, one who you've never even met in the flesh. Account number 1012579. Greetings, valued customer. I am an offline simulacrum of the Alice persona. I have been included on this chip to answer any questions that you have about your information purchase. Nifty piece of tech. Not now, Blitz. If you are ready to proceed, I will present Alice's findings. You may interrupt this presentation at any point by saying, Alice, I have a question. Is that the only thing you'll respond to, or can I talk to you like a normal person? The simulacrum hitches slightly. You may interrupt this presentation at any point by saying, Alice, I have a question. That answers that. We're ready. Let's get this show on the road. Very well. Commencing presentation. The simulacrum goes rigid for a moment, then seems to relax. When it speaks, it sounds more natural, as though the real Alice is speaking through it. All right, Apollo. I've got good news for you, and I've got bad news. Let's start with the good news. I've found Fauclair, and he is alive. Thank God. The trail to your missing doctor was a long and slippery one. The fee that you paid me barely covered my costs for the job. I sent a team into the SOX on a fact-finding mission. I bribed government officials. I greased the palms of wage slaves at megacorps all across Europe. Each step I took eliminated possibilities, drew me a little bit closer, and finally, I found the place where Fauclair is being held. The simulacrum makes a sweeping gesture with its right hand. An image switchblades onto the screen, a grainy overhead photograph, annotated with map coordinates. You recognize it immediately. This is where you'll find him. He is being held captive at a remote estate called the Harfield Manor. You've got to be kidding me. He was there the whole time? Glory says nothing, but she studies the photograph and nods. Okay, nobody tell me. I get it. There's something else that I missed. This is something else that I missed. Alice, I have a question. The simulacrum hitches again, and you can feel the life drain out of it. It looks up at you robotically. You have a question. All right. Please make your inquiry now. You said that Fauclair is being held at the estate. What evidence did you turn up to support that? One of my assets at Transys Neuronet provided me with a video feed dated 2053-10-10. The feed was taken by a corporate surveillance drone. Playback commencing. The screen is filled with a grainy black and white video feed. You recognize the Harfield Manor photographed from high above. The camera pushes in and the image sharpens. Through a barred ground-level window, you can see the shape of a stooped, emaciated figure. His body shows clear signs of neglect. The figure is unmistakable. It's Fauclair, 20 years older and worse for wear. His skin hangs loose on his bones, and his cheeks are hollow. There's a distinctly gray pallor to his skin. That's Fauclair, all right. What's left of him, anyway. It doesn't look like they've been feeding him much. He shakes his head. Poor bastard. Another figure steps into frame behind Fauclair, an orc. He turns his head slightly, and his skin grafts catch the light. Fauclair slowly turns to face Aldron. The video feed cuts out. The simulacrum stares at you impassively. Do you have another question? What else did you turn up about the Harfield Manor? Seismological data and thermal imaging confirm the existence of a large, hollow chamber under the estate. It is my suspicion that Dr. Fauclair is being held somewhere within this substructure. If Feuerschwing has kept Fauclair trapped there for almost 20 years, he's got to have a reason for it. It takes effort and resources to lock a man away for that amount of time. So what's her endgame in all this? Why not just kill him and be done with it? Malice? Revenge? Who knows? Remember, this was the man who shot her down. He sent her crashing into a radioactive wasteland. If somebody did that to me, I'd want to hurt him. I'd want to hurt him too, and I'd make it last. I think it goes deeper than that. According to Winter's DVD, Fauclair designed the experimental weapon that shot her down, and that weapon split her body from her essence. Glory glances down at her own steel and chrome arms and suppresses a shudder. If I had to guess, I say that she's trying to make him fix whatever he did to her. That's what makes sense to me. There's a moment of silence as the group processes Glory's suggestion. Before anybody can speak, the simulacrum cuts back in. Do you have another question? No more questions. Let's get on the bad news. Very well. Feel free to interrupt again with any further inquiries. The simulacrum pauses and a brief tremor washes over its body. Its eyes flutter and you can hear the sound of your computer working to process more of the chip's data. Iger turns to address the team. If Fauclair's at Harfield, we've got problems. The last time we broke into that place, they took Monica out. It was a miracle that any of you got out alive. Yeah, but now we know what's down there. This time, we'll be prepared for it. We can handle this. Iger shakes her head. No, it'll be even worse this time. The first time we went in, we had the element of surprise on our side. But now, they'll be expecting us. They're hunting us, remember? Their security team is going to be waiting for us, Dietrich. That Aldron bastard is going to be waiting for us. And even if we make it past them, we're going to have to deal with the dragon in the basement. Well, what else can we do? Cut and run? The last time I checked, that wasn't an option either. Even if it were, I wouldn't take it. I'm not running from this. Not after what they did here tonight. None of us are, Glory. But Iger's right. We can't just go charging in there. not without some kind of edge. The simulacrum jerks back to life. It resumes speaking blissfully, unaware of the conversation that it's cutting off. And now, Apollo, on to the bad news. You now know where Fauclair is, but rescuing him will not be possible. Alice, I have a question. He continues without waiting for a response. Why the hell not? In the course of my investigation, I have encountered something terrifying in the Matrix. It was fast, cunning, and very definitely intelligent. I'm convinced that I only escaped because it let me go. It couldn't have killed me it could have killed me in a heartbeat if it wanted to. This thing that I met is protecting the Harfield Manor, and it's going after anyone who gets too close to what's happening there. Alice, what did you see in there? What is going after these people? By way of explanation, I would like you to read the following document. The simulacrum makes another sweeping gesture, and the menu slides back onto the screen. This time it is filled with text. What you're looking at is an archived forum discussion from the early days of the Shadowland BBS. Blitz stares at the text on the screen. It isn't kidding, Chief. This discussion is dated back to 2036. That's ancient history in the decking community. It probably isn't even correct to call these guys deckers. Hackers would be the more appropriate term. When you're finished reading it over, say, Alice, I'm done. And we can continue. Read the archive discussion. As you lean in to read, the text slowly begins to scroll up from the bottom of the screen. You all hear about the SK system that got crisped a few hours ago? A whole lab's worth of researchers all burned and broken beyond recognition. Ugly stuff. Clockwork. At this point, who hasn't? Big Pharma. Power spike. Got them right through their data jacks, like a bolt of lightning to the brain. A 1 in a million accident is what they're saying, Mr. Mayhem. And you believe that? Clockwork. Got a more plausible explanation, Mr. Mayhem? Yes, actually. It was a cleanup operation. Clockwork. Color me intrigued. What were they cleaning up? Big Pharma. A secret project that Lofvir didn't want anything to do with. You might have heard rumors about it. The project name was Apex. Clockwork. And you've lost me, Mr. Mayhem. Apex, Clockwork? Seriously? That old line of Drek? Big Pharma. I'm telling you, jokers, Apex is real. Or at least it was, until the Whizworm pulled the plug. Clockwork. Come on, Clockwork. We're still decades away from seeing a fully functional AI, you know that. Those Apex stories that have been floating around, they're just some conspiracy nuts wet dream, Mr. Mayhem. Fine. Keep your heads in the sand. Some of us know the truth when we read it. Clockwork. Okay, Clock, I'll humor you, but riddle me this. If Lofvir had an armed and operational AI in his claws, why kill it? Big Pharma. You remember what happened to most of Echo Mirage? Clockwork. The crash fires killed them, fired their brains, but I don't see what that has to do with anything, Mr. Mayhem. The commercial release of the CDT 10 o'clock, I guess. Some security firms are working on a counter-intrusion software that could do the same thing. Black Ice. You can look it up if you don't believe me. Clockwork. Whoa, scary stuff, man. Big Pharma. Well, the goal of the Apex project was even scarier. ICE waits for you to come to it. Apex wouldn't be bound by those restrictions. It could go out hunting, hit its targets when they least expected it. That's why they called it Apex. It was designed to be the apex predator of the digital world. Clockwork. And so, rather than using it to his advantage, Lofir decided to kill it in the cradle. Big Pharma. The Wizworm's no fool. Some things are too dangerous to play around with. How would you put that genie back in the bottle if it ever slipped out of your control? Answer, you couldn't. Clockwork. And then it would take over the world, Mr. Mayhem. Okay, this thread has officially gone off the rails. I'm closing it down for the good of mankind. Captain Chaos. The slow scroll of text comes to a stop. Alice, I'm done. The simulacrum jerks back to life, then settles into a neutral pose. There are no official records in the Seder Krupp database to support the existence of the Apex project, but the thing that I encountered was Apex. Of that, I am certain. Just as I am certain that Apex was responsible for the deaths of Monica Schaefer, Green Winters, Clockwork, Peregrine, and a score of other Deckers over the last 16 years. Blitz raises his hand. Hold up. Alice, I have a question. I thought they said that Lofir killed Apex. They speculated as much, yes. They were wrong on that count. I do believe that Seder Krupp was developing Apex as a tool for Matrix warfare. I am also convinced that the IT personnel who were killed were the Apex development team, but I don't think that Lofir was responsible for their deaths. Apex killed them. That'd be my guess, yes. In the turmoil surrounding Lofir's buyout of Seder Krupp, a number of projects went missing. I believe that Apex was appropriated by a member of Feuerschwinger's organization at this point. It was then unleashed on its own development team to silence them. Since then, it has provided information control for the Firewing. A pet AI would explain how Feuerschwinger has managed to maintain her conspiracy and avoid detection for the past 2 decades. Anytime anyone gets close, the AI takes them out and scrubs the record clean. So there's your bad news, Apollo. Fauclair is being held at the Harfield Manor, but knowing that does you no good because you can't approach the place. I doubt that you could open the door without Apex frying you. We did that last time. They were trying to protect their secret, like Aldron said. If we hadn't gone down into the basement, they'd have let us go. Apex didn't react to us until Monica attempted to force the door to the basement. And now that the cat's out of the bag, they have no reason not to pull out the big guns on sight. Dietrich grimaces. You're right. We can't go back while Apex is in place. The room falls into silence. Finally, Iger turns to you. What's the play, Apollo? We can't turn back now. If Apex is standing between us and Fauclair, we need to find a way to kill Apex. Fucking A, boss. I'm in. Did you hear that, Alice? Do you have any suggestions? The simulacrum hitches again. The pause stretches finally. It comes back to life. The AI has a kill switch, but Alice deemed any additional contact with Apex to be an unjustifiable risk. Attempting to reach the kill switch would be inadvisable. If Alice was scared of this thing, maybe we should give it a wide berth. That's not an option, Apollo. We can't get into the estate without dealing with Apex first. And we have to get into the estate. I don't like this either, but I can't see how we can get around it. I'm still in favor of cut and run plan. butting heads with an AI isn't right on my list of things to do. We can't do that. Glory's right. There's no way around this. If Alice knows how we can kill this thing, we have to at least try. Alright. Alice, tell us about Apex's kill switch. The simulacrum stares at you with dead eyes. Thanks to my close encounter with the AI, I was able to run a trace on it. Through this trace, I discovered the physical address of a backdoor access point for Apex's programming. An old Seder Krupp research lab, long since abandoned and fallen into disrepair. The facility is now hotly contested gang territory. I have also determined a kill switch for the AI. A kill switch for the AI exists somewhere in the basement of this facility. I will provide you with a physical address. I don't like to smell this, Chief. It said that Apex let Alice escape. He turns to address the simulacrum on the screen. Alice, why would a Matrix warfare AI allow you to run a trace on it? It stares straight ahead. Its eyes are dead. I'm afraid that the answer to that question falls outside of the scope of my written parameters. The simulacrum stutters one final time, then looks up at you with an apologetic smile. You have now reached the end of this presentation. I have been encoded with a final message from Alice to Apollo. Playback commencing. The simulacrum's eyes go wide, and the life floods back into it. It stares directly at you. Apollo, if you didn't listen to me before, listen to me now. Drop this. Stop going after Fauclair, get out of Berlin, and stay out of the Matrix. I'm telling you this for your own good. That's all I have to say. I'm following my own advice. I'm out. Don't try to contact me again. The simulacrum reverts to its idle state, slumping like a puppet with its strings cut. Its eyes glaze over and its face goes slack. Then the screen cuts to black. So the Dragon has a killer AI in charge of security. I can't say I'm surprised, but then nothing surprises me anymore. We know what killed Monica. We have a name for it. And we know how to kill it. That's good enough for me. We know what we have to do. We can either stand around talking about it, or we can go do it. Agreed. We shut down Apex, then we re-enter the estate and rescue Fauclair. He's the key to this whole thing. Sounds like a plan, boss. I still say that all this crazy talk... Chief. I keep stuttering. I still say that all this is crazy talk, Chief. Taking on a AI isn't just a bad idea, it's suicide. So my vote is to cut and run. Blitz surveys the rest of the group, sees the determination in their faces. Finally, he sighs. But if you're really doing this, you'll want the best decker you can find along for the ride, and I guess that nominates me. Woo. Alice said that the kill switch is located in some old SK facility. Assuming that the site was shut down sometime after the Apex project disappeared, it could have stood empty for years, maybe decades. She also said that the building was in gang territory now. I wonder if it'll be anything like Das Kesselhaus was. God, I hope not. There's only one way to find out. Let's get prepped. This thing isn't going to kill itself. And don't forget, boss, we're taking on an AI here. I'd recommend bringing the best cyber deck that you can afford. Something tells me that we're gonna need all the firepower that we can get. Iger begins her weapons check. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Whatever's there, we'll deal with it. First, we find our way into the basement. She peers through the scope on her sniper rifle. And then we kill the AI that killed Monica. Damn right. The team breaks to begin gearing up. As she slides a shell into her shotgun, Iger catches your eye. You did good out there defending the Koitz Bazaar. You've had our backs the entire way. Made good decisions. Are we gonna hug now? Iger snorts. I don't think so. Don't want to hurt you. Come on, you two. We've got a job to get ready for. Yay. Alright, let's see. Sharpshooter. Movement. +1 to movement. Passive. When triggered, user will dodge the first attack against them each round. Yes. I will definitely do that one. Conductivity, augment spell, electrocore. Okay, so the AoE radius of Dietrich's electrocore spell is increased by 1 tile in all directions. Dietrich's electrocore spell now costs 1 AP to cast. Let's do that. Enhanced adrenals, augment cyberware, adrenal pump. Glory's adrenal pump lasts 1 additional round for a total of 4 rounds. Adrenal injection. Glory can use her adrenal pump on a downed ally to revive them at 25% HP. Shares a cooldown with her regular adrenal pump ability. Yes, I'm doing that. And Blitz. Deck upgrade. Or hydraulic jack. Gains a hydraulic jack cyberware, increasing his move speed by 4 as a 0 AP action. Yeah, let's do that one. I'm actually a better decker than Blitz, despite what Blitz says. Wait, something I missed? Oh, did they level up twice and I didn't? Okay. Tactical reload. Iger gains an ability that reloads all her equipped weapons for 0 AP. Whoa. Iger gains an ability that can target 2 enemies in 1 action. Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Sniper Rifle Specialist. Dragon Slayer now harms all foes within 3 tiles of Dietrich for 16 damage. Yeah, I'm gonna do that one. He needs a little bit more offensive capability. Trauma Specialist, gain an upgrade. Bumona Kit. Glory carries a Bumona Platinum Trauma Kit on each mission, which brings back downed characters with 100% HP, replaces basic gold Bumona kits. Glory carries a custom Ruger. Nah, I'm gonna have her be the trauma specialist. Augment pain suppression, augment decking. When Blitz is jacked into the matrix, attacks on his physical body are reduced by 3. Nova hot targeting. Integrated tactical computer marks weak points in an opponent's armor. Blitz's mark target ability now reduces the target's armor by 2. Yes. Excellent. Okay. Looks like they're all nice and leveled up now. I'm gonna increase my intelligence some more, since that is my key asset right now. Okay. So we're gonna save the next run for the next stream. Now I put it up on Twitter, but if you haven't seen it yet, I had to change my schedule again. So normally I would be streaming again on Sunday, but I'm actually going to stream tomorrow, Saturday. So sorry about changing my schedule again, but not much I can do about it. So I'm going to be streaming at the same time tomorrow at 5 o'clock. So thank you everyone for joining me. If you've missed previous streams, you can check me out on YouTube. There's a link below. And if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, I'm at Apollo Story. Thank you everyone. You all have a good evening.